Hi, beautiful people. How are ya? I'm Dr. Pammy Jean. I hope you're having a great day. This is part 2, histamine intolerance and a potential drug for fibromyalgia and about DAO deficiency in fibromyalgia. So what have we learned in fibromyalgia? Glutamate is high and GABA is too low. Glutamate is 2 times higher than it should be. Mast cells release high levels of histamine. Serotonin, norepinephrine, and dopamine are low. The ganglia outside the spinal cord are working inefficiently. The glia, microglia are also inefficient to control pain signals with poor communication between microglia and mast cells. High substance P in the spinal fluid. Our natural opioids are too high in fibro. Histamine is a chemical messenger that regulates immune responses and acts as a neurotransmitter and aids digestion. Histamine is involved in the body's inflammatory and allergic immune response. Okay, so that was a lot, but what does this all mean? I mean, there's so much going on in fibromyalgia. This is just a tip of the iceberg, but histamine intolerance is when there's too much histamine in the bloodstream and it can't all be broken down. In histamine intolerance, the body's immune system is involved.
Histamine is a naturally occurring chemical that is a key component of the immune system's response to allergens and injuries. It plays a crucial role in regulating inflammatory responses and immune cell activity.
It's rooted in a deficiency of the enzyme DAO, diamine oxidase, or histamine N methyltransferase, or HNMT, which are responsible for the breaking down of histamine, and that occurs in our small intestine. In a 2025 study, researchers stated that restoring dopamine levels and modulating the communication between mast cells and microglia may represent a promising approach to managing pain symptoms in fibromyalgia patients.
Histamine release during allergic reactions. When your body encounters an allergen, immune cells called mast cells release histamine, triggering the cascade of reactions associated with an allergic response.
So, the study intended to explore the interplay between brain mast cells and microglia as an underlying mechanism in the pathophysiology of fibro, and how this interaction is controlled by a medication called Modafinil. I don't know if I said that right. With a focus on, I'll just put this up here. Modafinil is a drug that reduces extreme sleepiness due to narcolepsy and other sleep disorders, such as periods of stopped breathing during sleep, called obstructive sleep apnea, which I definitely have. It also is used to help you stay awake during work hours if you have a work schedule that keeps you from having a normal sleep routine, like shift work. In this study, rats were used. Modafinil displayed anti-inflammatory effects via inhibiting mast cells and microglia activation, which manifested by reductions in, this time I'm showing the percentage that it reduced that activation of mast cells and microglia. Quite impressive, really. Reserpine, a drug used for high blood pressure, was injected into the mice because this drug causes rats to have fibro-like symptoms, according to another study. Ultimately, modafinil alleviated fibro behavior, histopathological, and biochemical abnormalities and suppressed mast cell microglia neuroinflammation in the thalamus of rats. Yeah, I do think I would take that if it was offered to me. But of course, this was preliminary. They did it in mice, rats. So now they have to progress to humans before it would be allowed, and probably even a secondary study. But in another study that was in 2023, researchers discovered DAO deficiency in fibromyalgia patients. That's where all this is coming from. And that could serve as a biomarker, possibly. And that's exciting. They found 4 variants of the AOC1 gene. DAO stands for diamine oxidase, and it's an enzyme that metabolizes intestinal histamine. So single nucleotide polymorphisms, what we just call SNPs, of the amine oxidase copper containing 1, that's what AOC1 stands for, gene, can lead to low enzymatic activity or functionality in histamine metabolism. And the prevalence of DAO deficiency for those 4 variants of the AOC1 gene were the following. So that first one at 53.1%, the second at 49%, the third one at 48%, and the fourth one at 19.4%. So those percentages are pretty high. And so it made me want to go look up in my genealogy, which I didn't do for medical purposes. It's for my genealogy. But I have the number 1, as you can see here. It was back in 2019 when I had my genes tested. So this new information is not in that description, but it's still interesting, don't you think? But do I think I have histamine intolerance? I don't know, but I'm suspicious. I'm open to it. However, the researchers stated that DAO deficiency may be related to certain pathologies, and histamine should be considered in the differential diagnosis of patients with various diseases, including fibromyalgia. The researchers continued. Fibromyalgia is a chronic pathology in which inflammation and pain symptoms are observed due to the release of histamine molecules from mast cells. It's a long-term condition that is characterized by widespread musculoskeletal pain, accompanied by insomnia, headache, and anxiety, among many other symptoms. That we know. This is what histamine does, which is really interesting when you think about it, that it fights off allergies and viruses and other intruders. It helps regulate our digestion and helps regulate sexual functioning, helps regulate sleep patterns, and contributes to stabilization of blood pressure, which I guess is probably why they decided to use that medication to test its benefits on fibromyalgia. Histamine also enters your body through food sources, and the small intestine is supposed to release an enzyme known as diamine oxidase of DAO to break those histamines down. This prevents the body from being overrun with histamine molecules. When DAO is insufficient, and the small intestines aren't doing their job, those molecules build up in the system and cause some or all of the symptoms listed above. This condition is referred to as histamine intolerance. So, this is the end of part 2, and I hope this all made sense to you. So, I do hope you learned something. I send you gentle hugs and support. Love you.